Hey, and welcome to the Drep and Stone podcast, a podcast where two friends raise a glass and have a conversation. I'm Nick.
And I'm Kyle.
That was happy.
Yes, exuberant.
I mean, you're wearing pink and baby blue. You got some
It's spring,
springtime
man.
colors going on.
Yeah, you're wearing your spring wardrobe.
Definitely dark navy and black.
Yeah.
I got brown socks on, which don't, I guess, go. I don't really. What are the rules?
I mean, it could.
I'm
I don't
wearing a
think you're
brown
supposed
belt.
to wear black and brown unless
Yeah.
it's like solely together.
Oh, okay. So like wear like black pants and brown shoes?
I think you could, or like brown pants and a black shirt. You know,
Okay.
it's fine.
Sure.
But it's like when you add in, I think, another color, it becomes like odd.
Well, I usually wear black pants, brown shoes, yellow shirt, black tie.
I've never seen you in a yellow shirt.
Really?
Oh, I don't know.
Because I don't own one. That's right. Yeah, you've never
That makes
seen
sense.
That's correct.
That makes sense.
I don't think I have anything yellow.
Yeah.
Actually, I know I have nothing yellow.
I might can make like a whole week out of yellow.
In your wardrobe currently?
Or yellow is involved? Yeah.
okay.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Maybe not
no,
like the highlight, like,
no,
like I'm looking like,
no.
the banana man from Curious George. But
I've watched a bunch of videos. Like I think we've talked about them. There's a couple of different people that come up on social media all the time. But one guy's named Damian Broderick, and he's a British guy.
Mm-hmm.
And he does a today's Tuesday or today's Wednesday, and like let's
like
get
a fit
dressed.
check.
Yeah, kind of. And he's
Or
just like
a get ready
yeah,
with me.
get ready with me kind of thing. And like he's got a style that I like, and I'm always like, what would it be like to be on one of those shows of like, actually style?
You
me?
should do one. But it's just like, get ready with me. And it's like you go to your closet. It's
all
like,
black
which
shirts.
black shirt do I pick out? Let's do this one today. Now, how we're going to style this? What kind of pants are we going to go with it?
Oh, dark navy
Jeans,
blue.
Dark navy blue pants.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Oh wait, he's got
Let's
gray
try jeans
shorts
today. Let's try jeans today.
Sure. I honestly
And
would
I would love to see like the the thumbnails where it's all just essentially the same outfit, just subtle variations of the same outfit.
same outfit, and by subtle variations, it's like my socks are a different color.
Yeah.
But
Oh,
they're
man.
like just
I
slightly
had no
like
clue he had red socks on the whole time.
red socks. Excuse you, sir. That's too bright.
That's a lot. Yeah,
That's a lot of
true.
color.
That's true.
That's not true. I do have some very vibrant socks.
Yeah.
I'm okay with vibrant socks because like
Vibrant socks.
no one sees those.
Green.
Yeah, I don't have it in
Hunter's
green.
green.
Yeah, no.
Nice dark green.
I'd probably be fine with hunter green. That's basically black.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I mean, any color is just the darkest version of it.
Yeah.
I mean,
Is that-
brown is orange. Just really
dark
orange.
Okay, yeah. I could go with like a really dark purple that's basically black.
Yeah, violet.
Sure. No, violet sounds
Dark
bright.
violet.
There you go. Thank you. To put dark in front of the color, I'm fine. What color is it? It's
Midnight
very,
violet.
There it is. Midnight violet.
Yeah.
It's very, very dark yellow. It looks black. It's not. It's very dark
Trust
yellow.
me, it's a shade of yellow.
That's what I should. Because I don't wear white. Because if I wore white, I could say like, no, this is a yellow shirt.
Yeah,
But it's
has yellow in it.
correct.
Yeah.
Correct. Yeah. This is the absence of yellow is what I'm trying to tell you.
Right.
Anyway, you want to drink something?
Yeah, sure.
Good, because I've got a bottle here
Yep.
that I would like to share with you. But before I share this bottle with you, I
Okay.
would like to invite everyone to have a pour along with us.
Yeah, share along with us.
Yeah, absolutely. Whatever it is that you'd like to drink, we'd like you to drink that thing and listen to the podcast.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. And also, we'd love it if you support the podcast.
Yeah, it'd be incredible if you did.
Yeah, super easy to do. Probably like the easiest way is just to tell someone about Drep and Stone.
Yeah, that's easy.
The second easiest way would be to find us on the social media and hit that little heart button.
Yeah, a little virtual half-ass.
Sure, or that little like weird airplane button.
Yeah.
Share it with somebody.
There you go.
Or just, if you haven't already, you should probably follow us.
Digital fist bump.
The other easiest way is to rate Drep and Stone wherever it is you find a great podcast like this one.
Hell yeah.
And finally, the most financially
Sound.
way would be to support us on Patreon. That's patreon.com/DrepandStone.
All appreciative.
Yeah. Now that we got all that stuff out of the way,
What are we drinking this week, Nick?
Kyle, we are drinking a bottle that I'm excited to have on the podcast
Wow.
because it is a
You're saying that there are bottles
Yeah.
that have not excited you.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. Did you have that Amberana mess with me a couple weeks ago?
Yeah, but could you honestly say that before you weren't excited?
I was Oh, I see what you're saying. Yes, I was excited
By
to
the end of the
try it.
episode, yeah.
No, not
sure.
even the end of the episode.
But-
by the first crack of that bottle.
Yeah. As soon as you smelled it, it was like, this is not going to be good. But
Fair.
going into
Fair,
it, you know,
yeah.
it was excitement.
Malort.
Oh.
I mean, no,
But
that's
even
not
then,
true.
I think you were
I
probably
was excited.
to
I was
see,
excited
like,
to see
how
your
bad
reaction.
is this going to be?
Correct. And I was really excited to see your reaction.
Yep.
So, okay, you might be right.
Pickle whiskey. Like,
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
all of those things. Like,
Yeah. Why does that
There's
exist?
always an excitement
there is.
level. But then once you've had the thing, it
Or
can
opened it or, varying
quickly
degrees.
go into regret.
Sure. And some have.
Many. I think we could say many.
I think that you're right. This is a scotch, and it is a scotch that is widely available. It's a scotch that basically you could just walk into any liquor store, your corner liquor store, and you're probably going to find it.
Any bar?
Yeah. Oh, definitely. Any bar.
Everybody's going to have this bottle.
Correct. And what we're talking about is Johnnie Walker, the Black Label.
Johnnie Walker Black.
Yeah. This is a 12-year blended Scotch whiskey.
Wild.
I know. And I just want to say, like, this Johnnie Walker Black Label, a 12-year Scotch, is not anything. It's a young Scotch, to be fair. It would be a very old bourbon, but it's a pretty young Scotch.
Yeah.
But this is not a difficult to find bottle, as we mentioned. It's not a very expensive bottle.
No, very true. You would think that, like, everything that you've said should be a highly sought after thing, but it's not.
It's not. Well, no, that's, what do you mean? Like Johnnie Walker is not?
That it's not a highly sought after thing.
Oh, yeah.
Just that it's almost, dare I say, regular.
Sure. And I'll tell
In
you
terms
why.
of
It's
whiskey.
because it's everywhere.
Yeah.
It's because, like, it's like there's nothing wrong with a bottle of Jameson, but it's everywhere.
Right.
And so I think the same way with Johnnie Walker, which is why I'm excited to do this, because the couple of times that I've opened this bottle, I mean, we featured it on a pairing. This is, well, we'll let the bottle speak for itself.
Okay.
Shall we?
Let's
Here
do
we
it.
go.
Does that hurt it?
A bit.
Is that part of it? Is
Yeah.
that part of it?
It's a bit of a knock.
Yep. Delightful.
So I think I know, now that we've poured it, I think I know part of the problem of Johnnie Walker and the plainness, if you will, the not only the ubiquity of it, but it is Johnnie Walker. It's everywhere.
Right.
Is that it's a blended Scotch whiskey.
Yep.
And when you hear blended Scotch whiskey, most people go, oh, but it's not a single malt.
Sure.
And that's true. It's not a single malt. And I think that's a knock against it in a lot of people's mind, is that, oh, this is not like the best product you can get. And I used to think that way,
Yeah.
but I don't know if I think that way anymore.
I mean, I definitely don't think that way. I agree with you. I think, to the uneducated, that to hear blended versus single malt, and there's enough jokes out there of like, oh yeah, I only drink single malts.
Right.
The expectation is that, a blended must be a lesser product.
Correct. I hear that argument, and I used to like entertain that argument, but I don't know if no, I don't believe that argument.
Well, I mean, for me personally, in the infancy of my whiskey journey,
Yeah.
the Maker's Mark branding of the little dapper man in his mid step.
You mean Johnnie Walker?
Yeah.
You said Maker's Mark.
Oh, did I?
You did.
In the infancy of my whiskey journey, like Johnnie Walker, what was the word I used?
Walking man?
Their marketing.
Yeah.
Their logo of the dapper walking man in his top hat, tailed coat.
Yeah.
Cane? Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I always loved the presence that the brand had.
Right. Yeah.
And it always seemed very posh and like, oh, this must be a very nice whiskey.
Yeah.
I always appreciated the branding.
Sure. Well, and I think for me, there was always that like, but have you had Blue Label? Have you had Johnnie Walker Blue Label? And that's like a $200
Yeah, at
bottle.
some point I got there.
Yeah.
It took me a while to get to that. And I've still never had it. And I've never really been that interested to have it.
Me neither. But now that I've had or am a little more understanding of blended Scotch, I don't feel any need to like go seek it out. But if someone's like, hey, would you like some? Yeah, definitely.
Oh,
Sure.
yeah. I mean, I've definitely been tempted, like around the holidays, they'll do that, you get red, black, maybe 15, which I think is the green.
I think it's green, yeah.
And blue.
Yeah.
And it's not badly priced. And I've considered that and have wanted to do it before. Just
I think
never
it'd be
have pulled the
interesting
trigger on
tasting,
it. At this point, I'm too much of a curmudgeon at this point to think that like there's any chance that $250 bottle
Yeah.
at 80 proof is any kind of interesting.
Right.
Like, there's just no way that I could be
But I'll
convinced
say,
enough to ever pull that trigger.
I don't disagree with you, but I'll say that we also know that a Scotch at 80 is different than a bourbon at 80.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So,
not saying it can't be good.
Right.
Not saying it. Not saying it can't be great. I'm just saying I'm not at a point where I would be willing to pay that price for it.
But I would definitely like to try that lineup.
Yeah, would love to try it.
Okay, so back to Black Label. So this is a 12-year whiskey, which means that the youngest whiskey in this bottle has to be 12 years.
Yep.
It's made by Diageo.
Oh.
And it has whiskey from what I've researched. It has whiskey from 29 different distilleries.
Wow.
Yeah. So here's what makes me, well, there's that. But here's what makes me super interested about blended Scotch.
Johnnie Walker Black specifically?
No, just blended Scotch in general.
No, I mean like the 29 bottles. Is that Johnnie Walker
29,
Black specifically?
it's from what I can tell, and I know that someone's going to disagree. I know that there's differences, but there is liquid from 29 different distilleries in this bottle.
Okay.
Yeah. And primarily, so like what separates the Black Label from the other Johnnie Walker labels, and there's also a double black as well, is that it has a higher peated malt content in it, so it gives it a little bit more smoky, or it should present a little more smokiness. But to me, the art form of blending is a master blender's ability to take those 29 different distillates and make this thing,
right,
and make it consistently.
Yeah.
And I guess, like, yes, once you've dialed it in, like, we need 10% and 3% and 2% or whatever. But that to me is just mind boggling. And I appreciate the art of the blend.
Yeah, me too.
And I think, like, you have a blend that, does it actually have 29 distillates? I don't really know that, but could it? Absolutely. Diageo is this massive conglomerate.
They got to put it somewhere.
Exactly. Or even if you're blending, 2 single malts and 2 grain whiskeys and blending those together, like, the art of making something interesting out of that, I think is so cool.
Surely, like, we've had enough examples of where a blended thing, not even necessarily a blend, but just something that's had some sort of curation to it,
right,
and how important that can be in a product, and making something that is greater than the sum of its parts.
Yeah,
that's a huge accomplishment. And I mean, this bottle seems to do it regularly.
Yeah,
with as many bottles as they sell and things like that.
Yeah, definitely.
Like, they know what they're doing, and they know what they're trying to put together, and they do it year after year. Yeah.
You want to actually try this thing?
Oh yeah, I just did.
Yeah, I know.
My
Okay.
bad.
Well, did we even talk about the nose?
Nope.
Well, let's
We're talking about that blend.
I know. Let's talk about the nose here.
All right.
It's 40%.
Yep. All right. What is Johnnie Walker Black compared to regular Johnnie Walker?
It's just the hint of peat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You get it?
A little bit.
And it is so subtle. But I remember back
It's
in my
there.
infancy days
It's
being
there.
like, woo,
Oh yeah,
smoky boy.
yeah. No,
dang.
but it's there. Like, obviously, if we pull the Ardbeg Barbecue or even the Wee Beastie off the shelf, like, it's gonna give a run for its money for sure. Like, there's no comparison.
Yeah.
But
Like, I'm just
it's
saying, like,
there.
at this point in time,
Oh yeah.
whew,
I see
I
what
mean,
you're saying.
I could overlook it.
Oh,
This is what I'm
easily.
saying. Like, I could absolutely just smell this and be like, oh man, what
Yeah.
beautiful malt.
Yeah, exactly. And it is. It's a
Herbally, maybe a
Gosh,
little bit of tea
so-
in there. Like,
exactly
beautiful nose.
green tea.
Would I say
Smoky.
it had
Yeah.
peat on it? I don't
No.
think I would.
No, but I literally was having a conversation with a listener a couple weeks ago, and he was saying, like, yeah, I really like smoky Scotch. And I was like, oh yeah, what smoky Scotches do you like? He's like, man, I love Black Label and Double Black. I was like, okay, because I had that pause of like, bro, that's not smoky, but I'm like,
Right.
no, but it is.
But that is probably like my entry bottle into smoke. Like,
Correct.
I remember having a bottle of Johnnie
Yeah.
Walker Black and it being that kind of like, oh man,
Yeah.
look at me, my fancy top hat bottle, and it's
Exactly.
all smoky, man. I just smoked a cigar.
Yeah.
like, this is great.
But I just went on the palate, and that's where I think the subtle peat actually does shine through, is on the palate. And it's very clear to me. I know that they're sourcing a lot of their peated malt and they're peated distillate from Caol Ila. I know that because I've been there, and like that's a huge thing.
Right.
But it also tastes very distinctly like Caol Ila to me. And having had Caol Ila at Caol Ila, like I'm positive that it's definitely on there.
That's where they got it.
Yeah, because on the palate, go to the palate, it's not a peat bomb by any means.
No, I can get it back palate on the finish. There's just a whiff of smoke bitter.
Yep. And I think what you just said, it's more in the bitter and it's more in the astringent aspect.
Yeah, because like front, mid palate, everything there is just lovely malty whiskey. Sad to say, like quote unquote generic, just got generically Scotch.
Yep.
But at the same time, like I think like the best parts of Scotch.
Correct.
And like not the this still has a lot of fruity.
Yes.
Those softer, sweeter sides of Scotch, not the briny, meaty, heavy, smoky sides of Scotch, medicinal sides of Scotch that so many people are turned off by. Like, this is just a lovely, sweet, malty Scotch that I would think just about anybody that enjoys whiskey could say, hey, that's delightful.
Yeah, agreed. I mean, like, it's not, I don't want to say it's not complicated because I think it actually is complicated, but it's complicated for someone who wants to like start to mull through it. If you're someone like me who I would like, I could whoever could parse through 29 different distillates if it does have 29,
right?
And say like, oh yeah,
no, it needs a little more of this.
There's the blah blah blah. There's the blah. Like, come on, like that's if you're telling me that you can do that, like. I'm gonna call bullshit.
Yeah.
But like I do like that idea of okay, so what am I getting out of this?
Right.
What notes do I find within these?
Right.
I think friendly is right.
Oh yeah. It's solid.
It is.
It's a good Scotch. And I just don't think you're gonna find anything in it that's like off-putting.
No.
Like, yeah, it's 80 proof, but it's still got a lot of flavor.
And that goes back to our constant kind of argument here that a Scotch at 80 proof is dramatically different than a bourbon at 80 proof.
Yeah.
Because like think of all the notes that you're just getting out of this. For me, like
it's 12 years old.
Right.
Like it's had time to get that flavor.
It's 12 years old and it's 30-ish bucks a bottle. Come on. Come on, man.
Yeah.
Calm down with your, $200 12-year bourbons. Here's a here's a 12-year $30 bottle of Scotch.
Yeah, I was thinking of that other Black Label bottle that we recently had, that Weller 10, where if you can find that's going to be $100-$200 bottle of 10-year-old bourbon. Here you got a 12-year-old Scotch that's got just as much flavor and impact on it.
The same thing with like we said this about Loch Lomond. That Loch Lomond 12 is such a difficult bottle to beat at like $35.
Yeah.
Come on.
Just a different set of standards, I think.
Yeah. Oh man. Like this is why whenever I talk whiskey with people, outside of the pod, like I love to have that Scotch conversation because so many bourbon specific drinkers are like, yeah, but I don't really like Scotch. And I love that. I love them saying that because my next question is, what do you not like about Scotch?
Right.
And what is their answer? 90% of the time.
It's smoky,
right?
Medicinal. Oh, what'd you have? Lafroig.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly. So then it's like, but have you had regular Johnnie Walker, which is the red label?
Yep. Yeah. Boona 12?
Have you had Boona 12? Have you had famous grouse? Have you had something like that? Because I guarantee you, if you like bourbon, you can't tell me you don't like this. I love the fact that like something as easily attainable, something as classic as a Johnnie Walker, someone like me who has a wide experience in Scotch and in whiskey in general, can find something that like, yeah, no, this is a solid thing.
Yeah.
And I would recommend this to anyone who maybe like bourbon is your thing. Try this. Try this particular Scotch.
Yeah. It's going to be the color that you like.
Right. Brown liquor.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's going to have flavors that you're going to find that are similar, and you'll enjoy.
You'll enjoy it. Yeah. So Kyle, now that we have a great pour, I'd like to talk about something that you sent me a couple weeks ago.
Okay.
And that was a video. This was an Instagram video.
Oh, yeah. It's one of our little brain teasers.
Yeah. And we send, mainly it's you sending them to me at this point.
Yeah. I don't know if I've ever got one. But it's I've told you many times, I want you to just create a ghost account that's just where we can just send stuff to each other when we find it.
But so you send it to me, and actually you're sending it to the podcast.
It's not sending it to you.
No, it's
sending
to
it to both of us.
Yeah.
Here's something to think about.
But it's one of those things of like, as you're doing that, it's like, let's do an episode on this, or like, hey, let's think about it. And in the video, like when I opened it, and I watched them, I don't always respond to them, but this one, man, this one just like hit me, like dead stop, like, whoa.
Well, and you had, I think you texted or something and said that this was something that you were already kind of thinking about.
Yeah, exactly.
And so like this just kind of hit on that same thread.
Yeah, and it's something that I've been wrestling with for quite a long time at this point. And the video,
I think we all do.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Whether we really realize it or not, I think we all do.
I'd like to think that we wrestle with this. And the video is basically, it's a conversation between two guys.
Sounds like it's a podcast.
It does sound like it's a podcast. I don't know who it's from or who it's by, but it essentially says that our psyche, our being is not meant to hear of the tragedies of the world.
Right.
And not meant to have to absorb all of the news of the world.
Yeah, our minds aren't meant for omniscience.
Yeah,
which I really like that.
I love that line.
Yeah.
We're not meant to hear of every little piece of information.
Yeah.
And so this is something that I've been wrestling with, honestly, the last, I'm going to say like 5 years of not only the news,
hitting on different aspects of this conversation. Yeah, for sure.
Oh yeah, and I honestly, like, I can draw a thread in so many episodes that we've done that it kind of all comes back to this.
Yeah.
Of like I firmly believe that knowledge is power, and I recognize it sounds like a line, and I get it is a cliche, but I firmly
Schoolhouse Rock.
Exactly. I do firmly believe it, but I've come to figure out as I've gotten older and the more knowledge that I've gained that it's not always a good thing.
Right.
Like having all of this knowledge and having all of this understanding is not necessarily a good thing for my well-being.
Right.
And not just like the 24-hour news cycle kind of thing, but just like I cannot possibly fathom all of the problems.
Right.
And yet I can know of all the problems.
Right. Know of like some of the like most devastatingly tragic events that happen across the globe.
Right.
And how that can like absolutely affect your well-being. But in a time 30 years ago where you would probably never have heard of it.
And I think about that. Like, was I happier 30 years ago? I hate that kind of like
this goes back to ignorance is bliss.
Right.
Yeah.
And so like I hate that kind of thought experiment because like yes, obviously 30 years ago I was ignorant. I was dumb. I was a kid. I was stupid. I didn't know these things. But now that I know these things, I think I'm worse off.
Right.
Like I truly believe that I'm worse off because I have a greater knowledge and understanding.
Right. It's like you've been given the ability to understand a solution to the problem, but you have absolutely no access to tools to fix it.
That is the arresting part of it. Exactly. Yeah. Like I literally, I feel
like I know how to, or maybe I don't know how to fix it, but I know what needs to kind of, what
steps.
Direction we need to go in to fix it. And I'm willing to, and I want to, but I can't.
I feel shackled. I mean, I know I just said like arrested. Like I feel like literally like you're chaining me because I know the things that I should be doing. I know the things I could be doing. And I know that like I can't do those things.
Yeah.
And so the video posits that, we're not meant to know all these things.
That human society is meant to live in small groups of like 150 people.
Yeah. I think there are two parts of that. So I want to get to that. But I think the first kind of part is all of this information. I want to compartmentalize the sentiment here into we're not meant to have all this information, and then what are we meant to be? What are we meant to do? So like, I think the internet is a positive tool, and that it can be used for positive.
Yeah, it can be.
But I think like as a repository of information, it is now becoming something that is just unbelievably crippling.
Yeah, because it's not only being utilized in its purest goodwill form. It's also very easily manipulated into a tool for misinformation,
Right.
propaganda, whatever that may be.
I literally like had this thought of like the metaphor of the internet being a library. And so when I was a kid, like we visited the library often. Like we would go once a week, we'd pick out a bunch of books. Like we'd spend some time in the library. My dad would get books, and that kind of thing. And so like, I feel like in its purest form, the internet was supposed to function like a library. You can go into this place, you can find information, you can get the information, but it's up to you to do something with the information. But what it's become is a library that's on fire, and everyone is yelling at you as you walk in of what to think, what to read, what to pick up, and you have no ability to actually sit there and digest any of this information. And so like then the information that's there, is there, but you can't actually access any of it. And you don't have the time, you don't have the willpower. There's just so much information that there's nothing good can come out of it.
That, and it's like, the library always gave you the security wall that you didn't realize was there, the firewall, the filter.
Sure.
Of like, yes, the things that we have in here have been
vetted.
Yeah, like approved, and like we stand behind the information, or, at the very least, it's like we're letting it be here to learn from it.
Right.
Kind of a thing.
There's something to be gained from this.
Yeah. And the internet doesn't have that. It doesn't have any kind of a safe check, a standard that it's trying to uphold. It's just anything and everything.
Right.
And do with it what you may.
Like any opinion that you want to have and you want to find, you will find on the internet.
Yeah.
And any sort of echo chamber you want, anything that's out there, like you can find a community and you can engage in it.
Right.
And I think like in some ways the finding of a community is a great thing. But like when that information becomes overwhelming in that like I have to know all of the stuff, we're not meant to. Like,
right.
We're not meant to function. I say like we're not meant to. I don't feel like the human brain has the ability to correctly process all of that stuff.
No, and like you're saying, like the community that you are potentially found yourself in an internet based reality or simulation, that community is also filtered in a way that you would never naturally kind of come across.
Correct.
Because in a natural community, there's also like so many more influences being brought in.
Yeah.
And a digital community is removing that filter or adding on an additional filter, I guess. And everybody's going to be so much more like-minded that there is no room for alternate thoughts.
And I think like, how many things have I solved and fixed and like gained from and learned from and grown from in terms of like YouTube and watching stuff and watching others' perspectives and things like that. I mean, even this, like how often do you and I watch other people's thoughts and opinions on whiskey or other people's like, reading things about what is this distiller or this blender, like how do they do things?
Yep.
And like, I love that. But what I've done is I've kind of created my own filter in some ways. So like I choose what the things that I'd like to engage in,
right?
Which I recognize in some ways is also damning. And like it's
more so even worse the other way of like you get to choose. I don't want to see more of this.
Correct.
And I do that a lot.
Oh yeah.
Just because like that thing infuriates me and I don't want to see that anymore. Stop showing me that.
I can't engage.
We're able to do that.
Yeah.
We're able to cater it to like, stop showing me things that I don't like. Just show me all the things that I do like. So I'll sit here for 3 hours.
Right.
Scrolling through this.
Right. Like literally last
Why am I
night,
choosing that for myself? I should be doing the opposite.
dude.
I should be
night,
like, show me all the shit that I don't want to see because then I'll stop looking at my fucking phone.
Carol showed me a rugby video, and like on TikTok, and then she shared another video with me, and then like she saw me death scrolling, and like at some point went, yeah, I showed you one video and you got sucked into like 30 others. I'm like, and literally 10 minutes went,
There's so much.
oh yeah, and obviously like that's stuff that's catered to me. And so like I'd like to think that I'm somebody who can engage with an alternative perspective, but at some point, especially with, and the video discusses this of like, we're not meant to know of all the tragedies. I can't know of, that's not true. I can know, but it takes its toll of like, there is this bad thing that happened over here, and this bad thing happened over here, and this bad thing happened over here. And for me, it's like I think
if you allow yourself to get into those things, then you'll never escape them. You'll never find time to get away from it. Whereas, in any other time in history, it's maybe you read an article in the paper, or you hear a story of something that awful that truly happened, in a far off land. Yeah. But that's kind of it. Maybe it was impactful in that moment. Maybe it did make you think, and maybe you did. It did like generate some absolutely genuine, heartfelt emotions within you. But then that was kind of it, and you were able to move on from it, continue your day, continue whatever it is that you're doing. Whereas now it's like, wow, that is crazy. All right, next, and here comes the next one.
Or here's the same thing for the next 30 videos.
Oh yeah,
or like here's another perspective. Or here's like
another
news
story
angle.
intrigue you? Oh, buddy.
Yeah.
Here comes a whole bunch more.
I remember like the plane crash in DC.
Yeah, with the helicopter.
Yeah, with the helicopter. And like, so I saw one video of that and like somebody commenting on it. And then like the next 10, 15 videos were like the same thing, but like different angles, or the same thing of like different,
here's somebody else's take on it.
Yeah. Different conspiracy theories, different things in here. It's like, whoa, I want Walter Cronkite to say, here's the news. Here's what happened. People are working on it.
Keep it boring.
Yeah. And like, you're not wrong.
Just give me the facts. Give me the story.
Yeah. You're not
wrong. Don't give me any
and,
spin. Don't give me any whatever.
And I recognize,
give me
like,
the details.
An argument would be someone would say something like, well, then you won't fully understand it. Like, I recognize that like information and news helps us understand ourselves, helps us understand the world. But at some point, like, how many times do I have to hear the same thing? And what toll does that take on me? Yeah. And for me, it just becomes like just guilt of like, there was a typhoon in the Philippines and it like, this many people dead. And then like, I have this guilt of, in some ways, if I did something, if I didn't contribute to global warming, there wouldn't be this typhoon, which I recognize maybe is a bit crazy. And maybe that's true, but there's this like, I should be doing something. I should be helping. I should be fixing these things because I have the knowledge and the ability in some ways to
understand it.
Exactly.
And only bad things happen because good people were not willing to do anything about it, kind of a thing. Yeah. It'll just eat away at you if you just keep thinking about that stuff.
And I can tell you,
ruin day after day after day. And yeah, I totally agree.
Like,
I don't think honestly, my mind's meant to like deal with it.
That's where I am.
Yeah.
All of these things that I'd like to like to make better, and I can't.
It is that now knowledge is power, but ignorance is bliss. Like that is kind of like the thing, and like it's like you don't want to admit it.
Yeah,
like, I don't want to be well informed.
Right,
you want to be have a broad base of understanding on all these things, but at the same time, it's like, but man, that just
cripples.
Yeah, like that just puts you in such a bad spot.
So then the other part of the video, which is actually the first part, it talks about humans were meant to live in small communities of 150. And I recognize like that's actually a study, and I've read a bunch of different books.
Yeah, I know I've heard that before.
Yeah. There's a lot of studies on like small groups of people. I think like the 150-ish is that magic number.
Yeah. I don't know why I know this, but like I looked up a very similar thing when I was doing like some research one time about Ichabod Crane. I don't know how like the tale of Sleepy Hollow got me like on that, but I know I read something around that where it was talking about like
Sleepy Hollow is like 150 people.
Yeah, like somewhere in there, like that's why like it was all connected in terms of like there was a blacksmith,
Yeah.
a baker. Like all these roles were filled within the community, kind of a thing. I don't know why.
And so he, the outsider,
is.
comes in like,
Stranger came to town.
Exactly, yeah. And so like we are meant to function within small communities. And our goal should be, rather than a global community, which I think we'd like to be a part of, our goal should be
Our Star Trekian,
right, yeah,
utopian
ideal.
Yeah.
But I think our goal should be to make our small community better. And if our small community is made better, or our small community is informed, and our small community is ultimately the thing that we kind of value most, then that would transfer to a larger perspective. And we might never know that.
just read an article
Yeah.
that argues all about against this
Really?
in the Atlantic.
Okay.
It's sitting right there. I just saw it on your thing. In that
the blue one?
In that blue one. The cover story is about how people don't move enough anymore.
Right.
People stay in the same town that they grew up in. They don't ever move. Whereas like back in the 1800s, especially in big cities, people would move because their lease on their apartment or whatever would come up.
Right.
And they looked at their residences, their homes, much like the way we look at phones today. It's something that is a utilitarian, it's a tool for me, and it's not a permanent thing. It's what I'm using right now, but hopefully I'm going to get to upgrade in a few years and go to something else that's either closer to work or it's in a community that I want to move to and be a part of. It's near my friends or whatever that is. It's closer to transit, so it's going to make my life easier. They looked at their homes that way instead of the way we look at them now as like,
this is my home.
This is it, and this is what it'll always be, and this is where I'm going to be. Like moving day, like I always heard that as a phrase in relationship to golf.
Yeah. Yeah.
But that's actually like a thing of like, it used to be almost like a unboxing day, or like it used to be like kind of like a holiday kind of a thing where everybody would be moving out, looking for a new place and moving into a new place. It was always like either like May 1st or like different cities had different days where like that's just where your ends here, and we're all moving. And it used to be this big, huge cluster of an event until this one lady in the Upper West Side of Manhattan bought a building, and instead of it being a multi-unit apartment building anymore, she made it her residence and like changed the whole thing, changed the outside, the facade, made the bit out back, turned it into a garden, and like made it her residence. And then once zoning became a thing and like they started to like, they were trying to adjust the Upper West Side into like this district of New York, she got a whole bunch of people to, not a whole bunch, but they made a bunch of flyers so it looked like a big group. Got enough people involved to where like it stopped that process, and she was able to just, now this is just my residence.
Wow.
So like now, like within this city that needs this building to be now a 7, 8, 9, 10-story apartment building that can house 100 people, it's now a 3-story, one family building, and it's not what our city needs, but it's what you as an individual want. And that shifted this whole culture into, now we have this very elite Upper West Side neighborhood that the city still needs it to be something else, but it can't be because it's changed into this system now. Yeah, it was bizarre. And it was just talking about like the whole concept of like how people need to move. People need to interact with each other and stop being so, no, I like my community the way it is, and I don't want other people to come in and change things. And there is like this push and pull to that of like, you want to hang on to what's comfortable and what speaks to your values and things like that, but also understanding that you need to have new perspectives and things and challenge your views and things like that. Like
I think the advocation for like, obviously new perspectives within that community, you absolutely do need that. But I think it's like the idea of like, so like I'm thinking like my neighborhood, there might be 150 people within my little neighborhood here. And so like I could, and I don't do this right now. Like I know who my neighbors are, but like I don't really know them. Like I know their names, but I know nothing about them.
Right.
But like if I made this community better, like if that was my goal and I made this community better, that would actually make me happier because now I know these people. I can have interactions with people. I can have these smaller kind of perspectives, and I can affect change that I can see and I can monitor, and it is real to me, versus like something like, hey, you donate $50 to the ASPCA. Like that makes you feel good.
Right.
But you don't see what that does.
Right.
And like, you know that it's doing something, but you don't see what that
Hopefully.
does. Or like, I'm going to go donate a bunch of clothes this weekend to Goodwill or whatever, or Salvation Army. Cool. But I don't see what that does. I'd like to, hopefully, think that my lightly used clothes are going to go to something bigger. Sure. But I don't really know that. But if I were to help my community, and I were to strengthen this community, I would actually see that this community would be better, and I in turn would be better because I can rationalize those actual changes that I'm making. And like, sure, people are going to come, people are going to go, and I think that should absolutely happen. But if the smaller community is better and is like that, if that becomes our focus, and I'm not saying to be completely ignorant of the outside, but if that becomes our focus, then ultimately, if we can make that better, then maybe that'll matriculate outwards.
Agreed. That's always the thing of like, just make what you are capable of making better. Do what you can. Spread the little bit of random acts of kindness that you can do. Pay it forward. It's all that kind of a concept. The internet just makes it so difficult for it to stay focused at a small level. And I think that's like the point of that video, is just like, we're not capable of understanding the world's woes at a level of my individual spot here. And
right. And woe to you for trying.
Yeah.
Because like, that's what's making, the current generations are just more depressed. They're more aloof. They're more disconnected, even though like we're more hyper connected. And I think it's because of that.
Right.
It's because of
I'm almost terrified now to know about the bad stuff that's happening to you.
Oh, yeah.
Because that's just going to pile on.
Right.
That's just going to be another thing that I've got to understand and deal with. Yeah.
Exactly. Versus like, wow, this terrible thing happened somewhere else.
Stuff's going really great for me.
Right.
So if I don't understand about all this other bad stuff, maybe I am more concerned to you.
Right.
Can show you more understanding and like, man, like you seem off today.
Right.
What's wrong?
Exactly. Oh, man, like I seriously, like I wrestle with it consistently.
Yeah. Yeah.
And have been.
It's another one of those things of like, I just feel like we've got way too much available to us.
Yeah.
Content, like, oh man, like everything, like just too much of everything.
It's
available.
What is it?
We need a restricted palette.
It's something by choice. It's what's the idea? It's like you have so much choice
that you can't make a choice.
Yeah, you can't make a choice. I can't remember what that's called, like stagnation of choice or something. Oh man, I know people are yelling at us right now.
I remember hearing a thing one time about like if you were able to remove and become like Spock.
Yeah.
Where everything is just based off of intelligence
and logic
and logic, and you remove passion and that sort of thing from the equation, that even then you couldn't make a choice.
Yeah.
Because you're always going to be able to rationalize a thing based off of the intellect that you can build around that. Like ours is just like, yeah, like we just have so much available that you just can't do anything with it because like just sitting down to watch something at the end of the night.
Exactly.
There's so much available. It's like, man, I want to start that because I've heard so many good things about that. But like, I'm halfway through this and I've still got another 36 episodes of that to watch.
But all my friends have already watched all that. Yeah, exactly.
I gotta catch up.
Catch up. Yeah. I don't have a solution.
But I think what really sucks about it is that it kind of goes against everything that we've always grown up believing. Some moral, aspects that we've always been pushed towards of like helping others, being concerned for others' well-being and stuff like that, helping your neighbor. And it's like being well-informed. Like these are all like these pinnacle things that have always been like these. It's very important for you to make sure that you're doing that. So all of a sudden to have gotten to adulthood now and to start to try to say like, I'm too well informed. I'm being too conscious of events. Like, I need to not be so well informed. Is like, no,
it's
that's
a slap
wrong.
in the face. It's a slap in the face. Believe me, man. Like, I'm not advocating for this idea of like, let's go back to the good old days. I'm not saying that, but like, yeah, maybe like go back to a time before this when like the people around me was all that I had. So like I've got to strengthen those relationships versus like I'm not trying to form relationships with people in far flung reaches. Like that's a cool idea, but we've clearly seen that does not work. Like that does not work.
As we're making a podcast trying to reach people all over.
Oh, I understand the irony. But to like in that a response to that is yes, we are making a podcast that we are putting, and it's being listened to thousands of people
across the world. But it's you and I having a conversation, right?
And so, like, I love that people get stuff out of this, and like I like that people have conversations with us in that way. But also, turn us off and go talk to your neighbor.
It's a conundrum that we're gonna be stuck with, eternally.
There's no solution. It's an ongoing conversation. Well. On that note, you got anything else?
No, I don't think so.
No, me neither.
I've got the fire hose of information and content that's coming at me at a constant rate 24 hours a day. But other than that, I think I'm good.
Yeah. Okay. Me either. Well, I would like to know, what does everybody think about Johnnie Walker and the Johnnie Walker Black Label?
Yeah. There's got to be a Johnnie Walker experience that you've had.
Oh, yeah.
Some sort of a story.
Have you been to the Prince's Street Johnnie Walker facility, the right there off of Edinburgh Castle? It's fantastic.
I've heard it's a great experience.
Yeah, you want to go?
Sure.
Cool. We'll book flights here in a second.
Okay.
And we'll go to the Edinburgh Whiskey Academy while we're there.
Sounds amazing.
I know some people.
Yeah, I know you do.
And we'll know some people, and we're going to have a great time.
There you go.
All right. While we do that, though, I'd also like to know, like, what does everybody think about this kind of idea of, is there just too much information, and how do we deal with that?
We don't have the capacity for it. How do we fix it? How do you get away from it?
Yeah, how do we combat all of that? What is your strategy for dealing with it?
There you go.
Well, you can get in touch with us through email. It's drepandstone@gmail.com. You can also get in touch with us through social media.
It's always one word, Drep and Stone. D-R-E-P and Stone. Come out there, find us, and like us, and share some stuff, and we'll get right back to you.
I love the smile at the end of that, but it was like, it slowly faded to
It's there.
Yeah. Okay.
I think they saw it.
Yeah. And we'd love it if you support the podcast. Just go back to the beginning of the episode. We tell you how to do all that kind of good stuff. And just, you know what? Everybody have a great day.
Slap us a low five.
Oh, the lowest of fives. Like put your hand on the ground and I'm going to rub my hand on your hand.
No, I mean like my butt cheek.
Oh.
Low five.
Oh.
Out the door. Let me know you're paying attention.
Oh. I'll take a butt pat.
Yeah. There you go.
You know, in the right situation. Like I don't want an unwarranted butt pat. I want my butt pat to be warranted.
I mean, I hate to say it. Mine's kind of always there. If you want to slap it, go for it. I'm not I'd probably be okay with it just about anywhere.
You're walking out of like a Lowe's and you're like, it's a pop?
Sure.
You're good with it?
Hey, man.
You play baseball. Yeah, that's why.
Probably. But it's just, yeah. Help yourself. Help yourself, man.
It's a lot to go around.
Go on, get it. Walking off the subway. Hey, thank you. Take care.
That's also a felony.
I'm giving permission. Do it. Slap it. Go for it. I'm okay with it.
There are several thousand listeners that are probably going to accost you now. Are you sure?
I don't believe it. You know, when it happens, you know, if it gets too much, then we'll do another episode, and I'll be like, hey, made a mistake.
Stop slapping my ass.
Yeah. It's gone too far. We're not in Turkey anymore.
Too Turkish.
But until that happens,
correct. But
open field right here. Help yourself.
On that note, hey buddy. May your glass ever flow
and your ass never show.
Well, apparently your ass has
been patted. I'm okay with it. Pat it first. Give me a low five. Hey, cheers, buddy.
Cheers.